Not bad, right? Chat about that in a little bit later in the video. Something cool coming up. Okay, let's kick this off. I enjoy talking with all of you. I hope you know that. Love talking to everybody. Didn't plan on doing it so early this morning. It's 5:41 here out on the West Coast. Been up for a while right now. That's the trouble, right? I get up early on a regular basis to get stuff knocked out ahead of when the family gets up, because that's some prime hours of the day before anyone gets up. And then I got ahead of the game yesterday. And so what was great, I went to bed last night. I was like, I don't need to get up at 5 a.m. How awesome is that? I can sleep in. I'm going to set my alarm for 6 a.m., get an extra hour of sleep. It's going to be luxurious. And then my body was just, I guess, used to what it was used to, because I was just laying in my bed wide awake and I looked over at my phone. It was 4:45 in the morning and I was like, dang it. Might as well get up. So here we are. Got a couple topics to cover today. First one is going to be about pull-ups and pull-up variations. Second one is going to be about when people fall off the fitness wagon and then come back onto the fitness wagon, how challenging that is. I hear those stories all the time. They cross my path regularly, and some tips and tricks to try to make that easier. And then finally at the end, the upcoming Linchpin challenge. Got my 5K shirt on, just got it the other day. I think I was like one of the last people to get it, so that was kind of funny. The shipping company certainly wasn't playing favorites because I got my shirt last. And the test one is coming up soon, like this coming weekend, and there'll be a shirt involved, but there's also a new piece of swag, which I showed at the beginning of the video. A very cool steel water bottle that also in the back has what test one is. And so, pretty darn cool. I'll show that more in the shirt. I got a test version of the shirt at the end there. But anyway, let's get to pull-ups. And this came up specifically based upon yesterday's workout. And a lot of people were throwing around their different variations for pull-ups, and were some more or less valuable than others, and this comes up regularly. So yesterday's workout, in case you want to hit, it was a nice heavy day at a high heart rate. Think of Cindy. People say that I'm obsessed with the Cindy workout, and they say I'm obsessed with the Helen workout. They're right. Those are fair statements. So Cindy, but we did it with strict pull-ups. So the way that we did it yesterday was 5 strict pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats. But each round starts with 1 deadlift, between 70 and 80% of your 1 rep max. So you're going to get in 15 heavy pulls. Plus, if you did that version, 75 strict pull-ups, plenty of push-ups, plenty of air squats. So it was a great workout. But a lot of people were throwing around various ways to modify or substitute those pull-ups. And so here's the chat based upon that. Let's say that you don't have a pull-up bar. Just wherever you're working out, you don't have one at all. And I'll also cover my thoughts on bands here in a second. But if you don't have a pull-up bar, if you've got more than 1 barbell, then by all means you can just do bent over rows with that second barbell at whatever loading on the barbell is appropriately challenging to match the pull-ups. And here's where I think people can potentially make some mistakes, let's say that for lack of a better way to say it. Obviously you can use dumbbells as well. Dumbbells or a barbell, do the bent over rows. If you have a variety of loadings for the dumbbell available, and you can obviously load the barbell to whatever you want, what you wouldn't want to do is make the dumbbell loading or the barbell loading significantly easier than how challenging pull-ups would have been in real life. So if you're doing a workout that's a 21-15-9 and it's got pull-ups in it, for example, yeah, some people are going to blow through the 21-15-9 unbroken, but not as many as you think. Those are big, challenging sets, especially if you're doing another movement or two in the workout. You're probably fatigued by the time you get to the pull-up bar. Somebody might come off that pull-up bar during that set of 21 2 times, right? They might break it up into 3 sets. Could be 3 sets of 7, could be a 10-6-5. So whatever loading you choose, don't choose some loading for a bent over row that's so light that you just blow through the bent over row to then go move on to the next part of the movement, part of the workout, and just get yourself a fast time. give each section of the movement the respect that it deserves. Because each section of the movement, if it was programmed well, it serves a purpose, and there's not just a fluff or a filler movement in there. So if part of it was below parallel, well, you're strengthening yourself below parallel. If there was a pull-up, you've got an upper body gymnastics pull there. Ideally, whoever programmed that would want to be assisting you in improving your upper body pulling capacity. So make that section challenging so that you develop as an athlete and use whatever loading on the barbell or dumbbells would force you not to do that set unbroken, would force you to do 3 tough sets of 7 bent over row to get to the 21, a tough 10-6-5, or whatever it happens to be. Then you're probably on the right track with the loading. And of course, if you haven't done that before, you might just have to do a little bit of experimentation. You might not get it right in round 1. You make a little adjustment. You get it better in round 2. You gain some knowledge. You post a little message to yourself under the notes section in the BTWB app on that workout. And the next time that you have to scale or modify, your level of sophistication in doing that has increased a little bit, and then you're good to go. And this progress, and you're all good. So let's see. Now let's say that you've only got like 1 set of dumbbells. I just think you've only got, it's terrible English, you only have 1 set of dumbbells, and maybe they're a bit too light. Like, you could potentially just blow through those sets each time unbroken. They're not quite challenging enough. No worries. In something like that, what you can do, you've got a bent over row, you're rowing the dumbbells to your chest, for example. Once that dumbbell makes contact with your chest, instead of just extending your arm again to begin the next repetition, have a pause there at the top. A 1-1000, 2-1000. And if you do that sort of a pause at the top of each movement when those dumbbells are touching your chest or the barbell's touching your chest, you can significantly change how challenging that loading on the barbell feels. And so something like that might serve you very well also. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Of course, there's another thing that I have an obsession with, as people who follow Linchpin know. Ring rows. Ring rows are fantastic. Everybody needs more ring rows in their life. Just pulling in a bit of a different direction than we normally do. It's fantastic. It causes you to plank out your body. You've got some great midline work happening the whole time. Ring rows are infinitely scalable so easily, right? You just change your foot position and that changes the angle of your body, and they go from not challenging at all to really, really tough. You can put your feet up on a box so your body's basically parallel to the ground, and I can make a serious argument that if you're doing that, they're probably more difficult than dead hang strict pull-ups. I think I could do a bigger set of dead hang strict than if I planked out my body, feet in a box, and did ring rows like that. So ring rows are awesome, infinitely scalable. If you've got them, embrace that 100%. And if you are patient, that and vary your, if you over the course of weeks and months do increase the difficulty, the angle of your body, you're going to get yourself a pull-up. You're going to. It's in the cards. You just got to hang in there, no pun intended, and stick it out. Okay, bands. Bands are great. Bands can get a bad rap. They're fantastic. You can get, you can order online a variety pack of bands, if you will, that'll go from very light to these huge, thick bands that you could pull a truck out of a ditch with or send yourself into orbit. But you can find the right band for you to slap over the pull-up bar and, put your feet through it and assist you with the pull-ups. All that you should remember is kind of like what I said about the bent over rows. Don't make them too easy. You could choose a band that gives you far too much assistance. The band's doing the lion's share of the work. You're just along for the ride. You're blasting through every set of pull-ups unbroken, and then you're not developing yourself. You're not getting any closer to a pull-up. So choose a band that you can't blast through the pull-ups unbroken. Choose a band that if you're doing that first set of 21, you've got to break it up into 3 sets because it's that darn tough. And same thing when you get to the 15. Hopefully by the time you get there, you're fatigued. You've got to break that up into 2 or 3 sets as well. If you're doing that, then there's a really good chance that your pull-ups will progress. But if you've had the trusty green band, it serves you well, you blast through all the pull-ups, and you've been on the green band for 3 years, you're probably doing yourself a disservice. So, as tough as it can be, choose a band that gives you less help. Yep, that means you're going to get a slower time on the workout, but what that means is you're going to progress as an athlete and develop that upper body pulling strength. So that's just the only pitfall that I would avoid with the bands. You can also put a barbell, if you have the room, the space, and a second barbell in a squat rack, and just secure it in there so it doesn't fall out when you grab it and bonk yourself on the head. You wouldn't want to do that. But if you can picture, put a barbell in a squat rack, you're going to sit down under the barbell, sit down on the floor, butt's on the ground, your legs are straight on the floor, your hips are basically closed at 90 degrees so that your torso is vertical. You're sitting in like an L position on the floor. Legs are on the floor, torso perpendicular to the floor. And then you would place the bar at the appropriate height that when you extend your arms overhead, you can grasp the barbell that is secured in the pull-up rack, and that has become a de facto pull-up bar for you. And with a little bit of leg there on the floor, you can use as much or as little leg assist as needed to do what are arguably strict-ish pull-ups with leg assist, and you can manipulate the angle of your legs and the height of the bar in the rack to make those easier or harder as needed, and then you will be good to go and you'll have yet another pull-up option. And I hope everybody realizes earlier when we talked about bent over rows, it doesn't have to be a barbell or a dumbbell, right? You've got some extra kettlebells laying around, fire up some kettlebell rows. If you've only got one kettlebell, blast through some right arm rows, then blast through some left arm rows, and then those are your pull-up substitutes because you couldn't do both hands at the same time. It's all good, as long as we're intelligently moving towards replicating the movement as best as possible, you're on the right track, doing good stuff. And then finally, there's a video, the CrossFit Linchpin YouTube channel's got a lot of resources on there that I don't think people realize. And we've got a video on there entitled How to Get a Pull-Up. And you can find that if you go to the CrossFit Linchpin YouTube channel there right now, under the playlist entitled Linchpin Instructional Videos. There's a bunch of content on there on a whole bunch of different topics and movements. So go to Linchpin Instructional Videos, find the one on pull-ups. But all the Linchpin Conversations live there. There's some videos of me struggling through workouts. People like to see me suffer as well. Those are there. There's a playlist for adaptive athletes, playlist for kids workouts, playlist for garage gym tours. So I think there's some good stuff there that people could enjoy. And then BTWB has specialty programs, and they've got a specialty program to help you get your first pull-up. So head over to BTWB, go to specialty programs, go ahead, get your first pull-up, and you'll be good to go. You can just add it to your training week in the BTWB app, and boom, you are on the path as well. So that's pull-ups. Okay, here we go. Having fallen off the wagon, now trying to get back on the wagon. And these stories cross my path all the time. There's always just somebody in various phases of their fitness journey, right? And so we had somebody post, and I'm not going to use their name to respect their confidentiality, but they posted their name in the private Facebook group, but I don't think they want me blasting their name here on Instagram, so I'm not going to do that. But this was the post that happened yesterday. And they wrote, "Today was my first workout back after many months. We recently moved, and the garage space that was intended to be my gym became a storage space during our extensive home renovation project. I spent hours yesterday cleaning out the garage, getting my equipment set up, and was eager to start fresh today. During my fitness downtime, I gained close to 50 pounds. I was so saddened and frustrated when I was completely out of breath after the warm-up. Then, dripping with sweat, also doing it not for time, I managed to complete 8 rounds of the scaled workout before I gave up. I had 125 pounds on the barbell for the deadlift, which is only about 60% of my 1 rep max. I did ring rows instead of pull-ups, half range of motion knee push-ups, and air squats. I know it's hard starting over, and I know my fitness level will improve if I stay consistent, and I know what I did today is way better than nothing, but I'm so sad I let myself get this far. It's tough to dig yourself out of a hole. Yes, and a bunch of people have been there because, again, these stories cross my path all the time. And so I'm going to share just a couple really cool, uplifting comments that were left by a bunch of people from the Linchpin community, because maybe you're in a similar situation and you could use some uplifting comments. And then I'll just give a couple bullet points as to, if you do find yourself in this situation, what do I recommend to kind of help get yourself back on track? So first of all, somebody in our group who posts this, CW, was one of the most just positive people in the world. She says, welcome back. You've started. By the way, lots of us scale, even the scaled workout, because, coach authorizes us to do so. Even though I hate running, I will use the analog that fitness is a marathon, not a sprint. So take your time. There is no rush. Consistency is better than volume. Keep posting here. We will support you every step of the way, and your garage looks great. I'm very jealous. And by the way, their garage did look absolutely awesome. It was a really cool space they had set up. Cindy M says, getting started is by far the hardest part. Look at all the great gear you get to put to use again, and try to think of it as all the things you now get to do instead of all the things that you cannot do. I thought that was a really nice way to look at things as well. Here's a nice post from Rachel K, who said, get after it, awesome setup. I've been out of basically the fitness game since January 2001 after a terrible pregnancy, and then no time after the baby arrived. I just returned 2 weeks ago, mainly because somebody else in the Linchpin group, I don't want to say their name, turned me onto the Linchpin community and offered me space in her home gym a couple days a week to work out. And then I supplement that with the body weight option or the limited equipment option on the days that she's not in that gym. The struggle is real, and the fact that you're getting back into it is awesome. Go easy on yourself, ease back in. And so basically, the feed was just full of comments very much like that. It was really cool. So, all right, if you find yourself having fallen off the wagon and you want to get back on the wagon, here are just some bullet points that might help you, that seem to have served people well over the years in similar situations. As hard as this is, ready? Don't worry about your old numbers. It's nice to know what they are. It's nice to hopefully try to achieve them again one day, but comparison is the thief of joy. If you've fallen off the wagon, you are now in a different phase of your fitness journey, and comparing yourself to what you used to have is probably not fair or motivating or inspiring for most people. So let the old numbers go, start fresh, every day is a new PR, and keep putting one foot in front of another. As those comments just showed, find yourself a supportive community. Am I biased that the Linchpin community is the best one in the entire universe? Of course I am. But find one that works for you. And if you're not getting support like I just read, find a different one, whatever it happens to be. But life is a team sport. I've said this before. It's not a solo sport. So find the people that support you and help pick you up when you're having a hard time. Scale the load, scale the reps, and scale the intensity more than you think you need to for longer than you think you need to. Do not be in a rush to get back to whatever the prescribed workout happens to be. There is plenty of fitness living the scaled life. As a matter of fact, more people should probably scale more workouts more frequently. Finally, not finally. I don't know why I said that. Still got a couple more points. Something that we say regularly is that something is infinitely better than nothing. And what I mean by that is there's that saying of something's better than nothing. I almost blew it off. I did a highly modified workout. Oh well, something's better than nothing. True, but what I don't like about that phrase is that it implies that doing something is only marginally better, barely better than doing nothing. I disagree with that very much. I think that doing something is infinitely better than doing nothing. So I don't care how much you scale or modify or do whatever, do it. Because doing something is infinitely better than doing nothing. And that also plays into what we say, also a lot of Linchpin, that every workout's just another brick in the wall. And it's actually pretty cool. A lot of people have embraced that saying so much that when people post workouts and they go to leave a comment, they'll just leave a little, like a little GIF or something of a brick, like a little photo of a brick, and everyone knows that just means it's just another brick in the wall. And if you show up every day, because consistency pays off, and you make good decisions, you're putting another brick in the wall. And if you do that enough times, and you take a step back, you will have built something very impressive. But when you're just looking at one brick, it doesn't seem like you're getting anywhere. Another brick in the wall. Every single solitary day, every workout adds up. You're always only one meal or one workout away from getting right back on track. And then you've got options, right? Like I said, you can do the workout of the day. You can do the wild card option. You could do the scaled option. You can scale the scaled option. You can do the dumbbell version. If you don't feel like doing any of those, you can do just the body weight, the no equipment option. Like, find something that works for you that day with how you're feeling between the ears, with the gear that you have, with the time that you have, and do something, and you're going to be on the right path 100%. Get yourself some rest. Don't try to get all your fitness back in one day or 1 week. Find ways to relieve stress. And then, of course, the other thing is that nutrition, the diet aspect, is absolutely huge and paramount, mission critical. So find some resource that helps you nutritionally. I will give you a recommendation. I'm a huge fan of Optimize Me Nutrition and E.C. Sinkowski. And I don't get any money or kickback or anything for saying that in any way, shape, or form. I only say that because I truly believe it. And she is to nutrition, as far as I'm concerned, what I like to be with strength and conditioning. No fluff, just what works, and done in a very she just does things in a very sharp, excellent way. So that's who I would recommend for that. Okay, that's that. I need to get another cup of coffee, but I'll chat just real quick about the upcoming Linchpin Challenge. And so we just had the 5K challenge last month. Got the shirt on right now. Everyone's names on the backs are awesome. The goal is we're going to do one Linchpin Challenge every month. There's 14 of them, by the way. So in September, it's Linchpin Challenge number 1. You can do the math on that. It's going to take 14 months to get through all of these. I think there'll be a wide range of participation each month, because some of the tests are just very, very challenging with technical movements, and that might reduce participation. Some are more grunt work style. There's everything in between. There's a huge, variance is a wonderful thing, and you're going to get a ton of variance over 14 months and 14 tests. I'm also always going to give a prescribed version, a scaled version, and a dumbbell option as well. So if you do want to play, hopefully there's always a way for you to play. These are fun community events to just join us all together globally. And so because of that, a video of your effort is not required. Do the workout, post your time, and you're good to go. And there's, obviously get the shirt right here, this cool shirts that we made for test 1 coming up here. But you can do the tests each month, the Linchpin Challenge, for free. $0. Don't worry about it. You can just sign up and register and just do it for free and post your time and get on the leaderboard. That's that. If you want a cool piece of swag, we got you covered. And there's international shipping also. So like I said, every month there's going to be a black shirt. This is the one from last month with the 5K challenge. So there's going to be a shirt like this for test 1. Looks the same as far as the color scheme goes. All the names of people who participated on the back with the subdued linchpin. Looks really awesome. So there'll be a black shirt every month because everyone loves the black shirt. But then I'm going to give a different color option every month because most of our closets have too many black shirts in there. There's a women's tank as well. So for September in test 1, got a cool blue shirt. Got the orange linchpin on there, white text. Same on the back, looking good. And so I like that color blue a lot. And then of course we've got it, like I said, women's tank. Same deal. The other cool thing is, as I showed at the beginning of the video, the water bottle, the steel water bottle with the Linchpin logo on the front. And on the back it's got what test 1 is. I know I'm doing this on Instagram, so the text is backwards right now, but it says what test 1 is. And so you've got options. Do test one, do the Linchpin Challenge for free. Have fun, get your name on the leaderboard. You can sign up and get a shirt or a tank if you want. If you don't want a shirt or a tank, you can sign up and just get a cool water bottle. Your choice. You can get both if you want. Get a shirt and a water bottle. Like I said, or do it for free. Just have fun. So every month we're going to try to do one of these fun test community events, and it's going to be this coming weekend. So it's the September 23rd through the 26th. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And registration is not open quite yet. I know that today's Tuesday. I know it's coming up quick. I hope to have registration open tomorrow. I'm not sure. But when it does, I'll post it on Instagram. I'll post it in the BTWB Squads feature. I'll post it in the private Facebook group. But again, I'll post it on Instagram as well. And hopefully everybody has a cool experience. And my goal is going to be, like I said, each month, be a black t-shirt, a new t-shirt, a different color, and then I'll see as many different pieces of swag that I can come up with each month. And so I'm very happy with how these came out. I had to wait for these because I wasn't sure when I got them if I would be happy with what I actually, with the quality and just how it came out and the print and all that. I'm very happy with it, so it's really cool. So that's it. Hopefully that helped. Information on pull-ups, information on when you fall off the wagon, how to get back on, and who doesn't want to do some running and a couple lightweight Frans this weekend, right? How much fun does that sound like? Because all CrossFitters are crazy. So enjoy your day. We'll talk soon, and that's it. Be kind to each other.